Hey there, fellow gamers. Get ready to power up your nostalgia and dive headfirst into the pixelated worlds of past and present. Join me and my player 2 as we explore the games that shaped our childhoods and the thrilling titles keeping us glued to our screens today. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or a curious newcomer, grab your headset and get ready to level up your listening experience. Let's press start.
What is up, big dogs?
Because
he's
John Selmeyer.
All right, everyone, buckle up. It's time to bring in my trusty co-op partner. You might know him from the fiery battlegrounds of Destiny 2, where he commands the battlefield over his YouTube channel, D2 Titans Only. But beyond the Guardians and the Light, he's got a deep love for the games that have shaped us as players. Get ready to hear his take on everything from legendary classics to the latest hits. Please give a warm welcome to the one, the only, Garrett Godsey. Welcome, Garrett.
Thanks, John. It's so good to be here. I'm excited to talk about video games. They've always been a passion for me, and I'm sure they're a passion for you too. Just so you guys know, this is where John gave me an opportunity to plug my YouTube channel, so I'm going to do that. If you guys like Destiny, follow or subscribe to D2 Titans Only on YouTube. So let's get into it.
Animal Crossing, Red Dead Redemption, GoldenEye, Kingdom Hearts, Destiny 2, Diablo, Pokemon, Call of Duty, Spyro, and much, much more. We have a lot to talk about today. Since we're going to hop into the games that made us and the games we play today, I thought we could turn this into a game. I will mention a handful of games. We can discuss them as in-depth as you see fit, but you have to guess what these games have in common and why I categorize them together. So are you ready to play?
Yep.
I'm going to make talking about video games into a game. How ironic is that?
So ironic.
Okay, category 1.
I'm ready.
We have Red Dead Redemption, Skyrim, Oblivion, The Witcher games, and Elden Ring. What do they all have in common?
Okay, so the first thing that jumps out at me about those games is they're all RPGs. They're all open world, and I love all of them.
Nice, yes. So that's exactly what I was going for. Open world action adventure games. You hit the nail on the head with that one. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, honestly, and this is mainstream, but Elden Ring was the best one I've played in recent times. Skyrim's kind of my intro to those, though. And that was probably the first RPG open world game I ever really played. I put so many hours into that. That would be it. Skyrim and Elden Ring.
You made me realize we're living the exact same life. Elden Ring might be my favorite video game ever made. And I know it just came out a few years ago, but it has blown my mind and it has ruined other RPGs for me. Nothing is as intensive, comprehensive, world building as Elden Ring has been. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. It had George R.R. Martin, the guy who wrote Game of Thrones, that created that world. So yeah. The world of Elden Ring is insane. And there's just so many different, like the game has multiple endings, and it was just flat out hard.
Yes. Do you have a favorite ending, by the way?
No, so I've only done a couple. I just enjoyed the game, playing it rather than the ending.
Okay, I'm going to be a nerd and say, upon thy name is Ranni the Witch, who disturbs my mother's sweet slumber. I loved Ronnie's quest line. I know it has an official name and I'm blanking on it, but that was definitely my favorite one.
No, Ronnie's quest line was great. My first character I made, and I was just, all I did was cast spells. I was a wizard, which made the game really hard because I had no help. But that was the first quest line that I followed too, which was awesome. Elden Ring holds a special place in my heart. It sounds like yours too.
Yes, for sure. Just a few more things I want to mention about it super quick. I have never bought merch and off-brand merch before involving a video game. I own 3 Elden Ring shirts, and one of them is my favorite boss. Do you remember the boss named Estelle?
No, that doesn't sound like one of the main bosses.
So there's a mission where you have to go across the Lake of Rot, is what it's called. And once you cross it, you go into a tomb, and then you like slide down a waterfall. And then you fight this giant scorpion-like creature that's made out of planets. Do you remember that at all?
I remember lots of giant scorpions. That was like my least favorite area in the entire game. It was just like, get this stupid health draining lake away from me.
Well, you could do what I did. I kind of cheated. I hate to admit this. You just sprint across it and then drink all your health potions when you get to the other side.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. I just, dude, I just
Oh man, do you have a favorite boss in the game?
Godfrey was probably my favorite boss. He's the one I had the most fun fighting. The one that took me the longest was probably the big dude on the little tiny horse. I
Oh,
forget his name.
Radon.
Radon. Yeah, that took me the longest, and I had to summon so many like wolves and
Yeah,
creatures, skeletons, stuff like that. That
yeah.
guy took me out, and he probably shouldn't have.
Elden Ring, the best game ever. And every time I play it, it feels like a different experience all the way through. Do you have any other thoughts on Elden Ring?
I don't know if you've seen that. It's coming out soon, but I heard it's essentially a co-op, and you get Elden Ring mechanics with classes, and you can play it with people online and your friends.
Yeah, I am stoked for it. I'm curious to see if any of the bosses repeat or if it's going to be a whole new addition to the lore.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd like to see new lore and stuff like that. I'm kind of a nerd, so.
Yeah, me too. Did you hear they made an Elden Ring book, but it's not from software. It's from like a super fan.
Oh, I didn't know that. Dude, people are crazy. I bet that Superfan book is actually really good.
Yeah,
Probably got some crazy stories in it.
I'm going to buy it on Kindle and I plan on reading it. So I'll keep you posted on that. Best RPG in the entire universe. Skyrim and Oblivion. Have you been playing the Oblivion
Yeah.
where they update the graphics? What's that called?
I think they're calling it a remaster. But yeah, to answer your question, I've been playing it since Skyrim was my first serious RPG that I ever played. I never played the original Oblivion. So playing Oblivion is like a whole new game to me. Have you been
Really?
playing it?
Oh, yeah. So I played it back in '06 when it came out, and
Oh, wow.
it is so nostalgic for me. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the internet commentary on it, where what makes it so much fun in 2025 is the fact that they kept it with all the bugs and the silly dialogue. It's a silly RPG game.
Yeah, I love it. And okay, I know you said silly for 2025, but dude, the games in like the early like 20 years ago, they don't make games like they did back then. There's so many different like quest lines and stories and things you can just do in Oblivion that
Yeah.
I can't do in RPGs today, besides like an Elden Ring. But Elden Ring aside, I haven't seen an RPG that has that many quests in a while, and I've just been mind boggled by it.
No, I think that's a fair critique actually of modern day games is why didn't they keep that momentum? But yeah,
Oh, I was gonna say. So I was gonna share something about my experience with Oblivion. So I'm a pickpocket. That's the role I've been playing in this. And I was roaming a forest, and I pickpocketed. I don't know what she is. I think she's an elf or something.
hmm
But she caught me, and this is like the first person that ever caught me. And after she caught me, I couldn't kill her. She cast a spell and ran off and is invisible. And now when
What?
I try to pickpocket other people in the story or in the game, she like snitches on me. She's like following me around invisible, snitching on me.
Whoa.
And yeah, I can't kill her because it just knocks her out because she has a quest line, I'm sure. So I've tried to kill her like 4 times. I can't do that. And then I just get attacked by guards. And now I'm like 40K bounty on my head in the Imperial City because of this.
That is
But,
fascinating.
sorry, that was my fun fact about Oblivion.
No, that is so cool. So I've heard of a few different, I don't even know what you would call that because it's just a unique characteristic of the game. It's not even an Easter egg. It's just a part of the game, but it only happens to people when they try to do something very specific. There is a troll, I guess, on one of the mountains up north. I don't know which mountain, that's completely invisible. So people just randomly start getting hit by this troll and they're like, what is hitting me? What is going on right now? And there's a handful of players that it's happened to.
Can you kill the troll?
Yeah, if you can
Oh, okay.
if you can hit
I
it.
knew.
It's funny. It's like when someone turns invisible in a video game, you can still see a wobbly outline of them. So to connect the dots between Oblivion and Skyrim, if you go north of the Cloud Ruler Temple, you can see the throat of the world in Skyrim. That's that super huge mountain that those monks are at the top of. They made it
Oh,
where you can go and see it in the Oblivion Remastered now.
that's really cool. Is that the do you get that hammer from a quest line from a lady in a farm?
So that hammer I got, I was trying to find this mountain and I found a
Oh,
campsite full of bandits that is not marked on the map. And this lady was a normal bandit, but she was kicking my ass, and I'm like, what is going on? And eventually I finally killed her, and I was able to get this.
Oh, okay. Sorry, nobody's gonna be able to see that, but John has a really BA hammer in his hands with
Well,
a picture of a mountain in the background.
yeah, it's my cool weaponry I got in Oblivion. So yeah. And then the second image I sent you was just to show you how much the graphics have improved in Oblivion. For those of you listening, I sent Garrett a picture of there's a saber-tooth helmet you can get, and in Oblivion Remastered, it's absolutely beautiful. So the attention to detail that they've put in this game in 2025 is exquisite, in my opinion.
And I don't know if you know this, but Bethesda paid another company to essentially remake Oblivion or remaster Oblivion in Unreal Engine 5. And like you said, it's just beautiful. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Any final thoughts on Oblivion or Skyrim?
I'm still reliving my childhood by playing Skyrim or Oblivion. It reminds me a lot of Skyrim, and it's an amazing game. And if you like those types of games, you should definitely get because of Oblivion then too, because you would have had to play Oblivion first.
Yeah, I was like, Oblivion was such a good game. I need to go to the midnight release of Skyrim. It's going to be badass.
I wish midnight releases were the same as they were 20 years ago. It was a great time.
Except for this one, someone's car alarm kept going off. So by the time we actually got the game, everyone was angry.
That's hilarious.
Listening to a car alarm for an hour and a half, that'll do it to me.
Yeah, I think that'll do it to anybody, to be honest.
Okay, Red Dead Redemption 2. The only notes I have for this is when you play Grand Theft Auto, of course I'm going to compare it to Grand Theft Auto because they're so similar.
Games.
Grand Theft Auto, you can get machine guns, RPGs, you can run people over in cars, you can do so much stuff that makes you kind of overpowered. What I like about Red Dead Redemption is the fact that you're playing with Wild Wild West weapons and equipment and machinery. I feel like that makes the game more difficult. When you're wanted by the police and you're being pursued, you can't just race away in a Maserati. You have to actually run up a hill and they're shooting at you with revolvers, and it's very dramatic. I feel like it's a lot more difficult than Grand Theft Auto. How do you feel about Red Dead Redemption in general?
So you're talking about two games that I don't have a ton of experience playing.
Mm-hmm.
One, I have no experience playing Grand Theft Auto at all. Never played it. Probably never won't even play the new one when it comes out.
Okay.
But Red Dead Redemption, I have played. I played 1 and 2. And honestly, you're gonna not like this response, but I never really got into the RPG aspect of it. The law, I guess, in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, we're really gonna piss our listeners off if they're major video game connoisseurs, because Red Dead Redemption 2, I couldn't make it past the snow mission. I'm one of those people.
Hey, I know that mission.
Who never made it past the snow mission. I'm talking solely about Red Dead Redemption 1. If you wanted some rage bait for the day, I apologize, dear listener. There you go.
John and Garrett are not Red Dead players.
Not Red Dead players for sure. And then last on this list is The Witcher. I actually have not played this game. I was wondering if you could tell me a bit about it.
Yeah, so I won't go into super detail if you ever do decide to play it, but The Witcher 3 was the game I played out of the series, and it was another game that was just really redefining that era because there were a lot of really cool quest lines. One of the coolest things about the game, I thought, was that we could go in a bar or an inn and play this card game. I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. I think it's called Gwent. But overall, Witcher was a great game, and I think it even won Game of the Year the year it was released, which is awesome.
And does this include, similar to Skyrim Oblivion, just an entire open world you can explore?
Yeah, it had an entire open world. I'd say it was probably a little more story-driven than Oblivion and Skyrim. Not that they didn't have stories, but the cutscenes and the story was more important to the Witcher 3 than those games.
Gotcha. And since the TV series is so popular, I wanted to ask you, in the video game, what is your favorite monster or coolest looking monster to fight?
I can tell you the one that took me the longest to kill the first time I fought it. It was a griffin. The thing just flew around, and I couldn't kill it for the life of me. But the game's just really good, and you should play it if you ever get the chance.
Awesome. I'll check that one out for sure. Okay. I'm going to keep the game alive, and we will move on to our next category. Category number 2, we have the following games: GoldenEye 007, Call of Duty Black Ops, Halo, and Twisted Metal. What do all of these games have in common?
So all of those games are PvP at some point or not, and they're all shooters. Is what I'm getting That's what I see.
Yeah. So I was aiming for that they were all shooters. So you got that one too, Garrett. You're 2 for 2. Woo!
That's super exciting. I might be a gamer after all.
From this list, what is your favorite out of all of these?
So this might take away my gamer status or like my real gamer status, but honestly, it's Call of Duty. Any Call of Duty. Call of Duty played a big role in my life growing up. That sounds weird to say, but Call of Duty is my answer to that.
What's that game that competes with Call of Duty?
So EA has Battlefield.
Battlefield. Have you played Battlefield?
Yeah, I've played Battlefield. The reason I like Call of Duty more than Battlefield is because I played Call of Duty competitively for a while, like a really long time actually. Battlefield didn't have as really a competitive scene compared to Call of Duty, but Battlefield has way better graphics.
Okay, so Battlefield better graphics, but you feel like there's more of a community with Call of Duty.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But don't tell Battlefield players that because they will probably fight you on it.
I play Call of Duty with a handful of friends, but we play the one that came out just a couple years ago. I think it's called Modern Warfare. Is that what it's called?
Well, they've had Modern Warfare 2019, and then they had a Modern Warfare 2 that came out. So yeah, I assume that you're probably playing Modern Warfare if it came out a couple years ago. I don't know which one.
And everyone was laughing at me because I hadn't played Call of Duty before that game since Call of Duty Black Ops. And I don't know when that came out, but that was my gap. Was Call of Duty Black Ops and then Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Black Ops was like 2010, I think.
The thing was, I loved Black Ops so much, the following Call of Duty games didn't live up to my standard. I guess I loved...
It was 2010.
Yeah.
And Black Ops is a great game, so you're not wrong to think that.
To have such high standards.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Call of Duty game?
So my favorite one's the one that got me hooked, which is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which came out in 06 or 07. I think it's 07, but I thought it was the coolest thing in the world that you could play online with other people and like talk crap to them over a mic when I was what? How old were we in 2008? Like 12,
13, 14? I don't know.
Yeah. I thought it was so cool that you could like meet other people from like Arizona or Texas.
One other thing I'll mention, and then the floor is all yours, is Call of Duty, their edition of zombies, and feeling like I'm in a zombie apocalypse, being holed up in a certain area, having to do the mystery box, just all of those components is so much fun. The amount of hours I've spent playing that on top of the base game, it's exponential.
Yeah, Call of Duty, when they introduced zombies, it was great. Did you ever get to a point where you were like, okay, I'm at round 50 and my mom needs me to go wash the dishes or something? Would you ever try to get like a crawler or glitch it into the wall or something so you could run off so it didn't like knock you down essentially while you ran off to do your chores or whatever?
This would happen all the time, especially in the summer. My mom would get home and have me do chores, and I'd be playing with some friends across the street. And I'd be like, okay, Please keep a crawler. I'm going to run across the street. I'm going to do some chores real quick, and I'm going to run back, and we can keep playing. Please keep this momentum going for me. I want to keep going,
Yeah.
And
then it never did because you died as soon as you got back. Or
they were too lazy to move the controller around for me, so the crawler ended up killing me.
Yeah, Zombies was definitely a great time. Or you'd have a friend who, didn't contribute to opening any of the doors to get to the mystery box, and then they'd try to be the first one to open the mystery box. And they'd always get the ray gun or the Wonder Waffle, whatever it was for that specific game.
I'm glad we both have shared memories, common memories on Call of Duty Zombies.
I have like pent up trauma from my friends getting the good guns and me getting like a M1A1 or something.
Yeah. Hey, M1A1, not too bad. Anything else you want to say about Call of Duty?
No, that's it. Good times.
Another first-person shooter that I feel like changed the game for every single video game. It was another one of those milestones in the video game community, not just for us, the consumer, but also for developers, was Halo, and very specifically, Halo 3. The storyline was very rich. And when I say storyline, I'm talking about campaign. There was that mode where you had to fight hordes of aliens. And then multiplayer, that's one of the funnest multiplayer experiences I've ever had, because in Call of Duty, you have people who camp. There's some other multiplayer games that I've played where everyone is pretty much equal. You turn a corner, shoot someone, they die. Halo is one of those games where if you have the energy sword, you almost beat everyone. Unless you have the shotgun, then you can kill the person with the energy sword. And it's one of those things where it's very strategic. It was such a fun game. How do you feel? Do you feel as passionate about Halo as I do?
My experience with Halo, and no, I really did enjoy Halo, but I didn't play Halo 3. I was always on PlayStation in the Halo 3 days. But my experience with Halo is I played Halo 1 and Halo 2 on Xbox at my neighbor's house. So growing up, we would play the campaigns on Legendary mode, and we would just get absolutely trashed on by like snipers. It was a great experience because we were just kids having fun, trying really hard, getting beat by the computer. And then we'd go into the arena mode or whatever it was called, and we would fight each other, and we'd play 1v1. And I remember sniping each other, shooting each other with rocket launchers and being so mad. And then running around a corner with a needler and just needling somebody.
Oh,
to
yeah,
death.
the needler.
So, I thought that was a really cool gun, to be honest, because not a lot of games have anything like that. But I didn't get to experience Halo 3 like everybody else because I was on PlayStation. But Halo definitely holds a spot very close to me in my heart because of the friendships I made just by like going over to my friend's house and playing Halo 1 and Halo 2 with them.
So, again, Garrett, third or fourth time in this episode I'm saying it, we're living the same life. I had a PlayStation 2, so I never played Halo. So I would go to friends' houses, and that's how I played Halo 3. I'm that passionate about Halo 3, and I didn't even own it. Isn't that crazy?
Yes, that's crazy. We might actually be living in a simulation.
I think we are. Twisted Metal, I threw this in just for nostalgia purposes. I used to play Twisted Metal 3. The graphics were pretty cheesy, but just the overall, I don't know what you'd even call it. The clown car, that's an ice cream truck, the tank. I remember one of the characters was named Axel. I feel like Twisted Metal is on the verge of being iconic. For some reason, it hasn't passed that threshold. Like we remember Master Chief, or there's certain game franchises that will go down in history as being remembered forever. I feel like Twisted Metal is just on the cusp of that, but they haven't passed that line yet.
Yeah, so I played Twisted Metal on PS2 back in the day. I don't know what you played it on, but that clown car is definitely iconic to Twisted Metal. But like you said, I don't think it's on the Master Chief level yet. In my opinion on that, and this is, this might not be relevant at all, but my opinion on that is they're not, I feel like they don't have like a big company making them. Do you know who even makes Twisted Metal? Because I don't.
No, if I had to guess, I'd say Activision, but that's me definitely guessing.
Yeah, but I feel like Twisted Metal, the best times I had with it were when I was like split. I don't even know if it's split screen because I haven't played it so long, but it was sitting in like, my room at my parents' house with my friend that's right next to me on like a split screen, and we're both playing Twisted Metal.
Yeah, same.
And I don't feel like it really made it to the internet phase of popularity. Whereas like if they were to like remaster it and add a bunch of new things to it, I think they actually might be working on a remake of it.
Oh, wow.
It might hit the internet fame and then get really popular.
Also, I was way off. It's not Activision. The publisher is 989 Studios for Twisted Metal 3, just by the way. Have you ever heard of
Studios make some other
989
games.
Studios? What is that?
They make other games, but I don't know what they are off the top of my head.
Well, according to Wikipedia, 989 Studios also made ESPN Extreme Games, Jet Moto, NCAA, NFL Game Day, Spawn, Warhawk. It's very random stuff.
It's very random, yeah.
Oh, a bunch of NFL games, NBA games, World Tour Soccer, NHL, and then it looks like they stopped making games around 2004.
Interesting.
And this is all
Yeah,
according to
sports
Wikipedia.
games and Twisted Metal combo.
What a weird combo. So, again, I mentioned this for nostalgia purposes. And I wanted to shout out, they have an Amazon TV show right now, I believe. That's Twisted Metal.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking. I haven't watched it, but that sounds like it could be kind of scary. But it also sounds like it might be exciting.
The only reason it has any momentum whatsoever is because it stars Anthony Mackie, which a lot of people, they love him.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't watch enough movies or TV to even know who that is.
He's the new Captain America. He was Falcon.
Oh, he's a good actor. I like him.
Yeah. And
He is a good actor.
yeah. He's a cool dude.
I've seen
And
some interviews with him.
have
It's
you
interesting.
anything memorable?
He was just talking about parenting with his kids, and I thought that he had some interesting perspective, but nothing video game related.
Gotcha. And that leaves us with one more in this category, GoldenEye 007.
I played a lot of 007 GoldenEye on Nintendo 64 when I was a kid. That game is another nostalgia-driven game. I remember like rocket launcher glitches and stuff that you could do in the story mode, and then just playing like free-for-all, the classic free-for-all with my friends on co-op or split screen. It was a good time.
And that game came out in 1997.
Yeah. I would have been the big three, John. 3
Same.
years old.
Same here.
But I feel like I played it in the like 2002, 2004 era on Nintendo 64.
Same
Or
here.
PS.
And I'm happy this game is still iconic because people are still obsessed with the song. Do you know what song I'm referring to?
No, please tell me.
The dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun dun dun.
yeah.
That one.
I don't know it, but it sounds like something that would be in that game.
It's when you hit pause. It's the song that
Really?
pops up. But when we finish this, I will send you the memes that people are obsessed with that song.
Okay, I'd like that. I need something to laugh at. It's been a long week. Sorry.
We're gonna,
I'm gonna dump on you, but
we're gonna get
No,
the
go
real
ahead.
Garrett by the time this is over. Anything you have left to say about the first person shooter category that I had created?
no, I mean those are all good first-person shooters. A lot of them are iconic, and Call of Duty will always hold a special place in my heart.
I have category number 3 with our little game, Age of Mythology, Mortal Kombat, Baldur's Gate, and League of Legends. What do these games have in common?
I thought maybe strategy would be a part of this, but I don't think strategy is the answer after you said Mortal Kombat.
Okay,
They all have some sort of fighting.
you know what? I had a handful of answers you could guess that were all going to be correct. When you say strategy, one of the things that these games have in common, at least Mortal Kombat Armageddon, I don't know if all Mortal Kombat games are like this, but inventory management or
Yeah.
needing some kind of armor or defense, or the fact that they're all combat games.
So I've never played Mortal Kombat Armageddon. That's the only one on the list I think that I haven't played.
Oh man, you never
And
played
then-
Armageddon?
I know. No, I've played all the others, but not Armageddon.
Okay, Garrett, listen to me, Garrett.
John.
I'm gonna
Listen.
buy you a PlayStation 2, and I'm gonna buy you Mortal Kombat Armageddon because it might be one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. Dude, that game, the reason why it's so good, most Mortal Kombats have, how many characters do you think you can play as when you play versus against somebody else at home?
Like 20.
You said 20? In Mortal Kombat Armageddon, you can play as either 62 or 63 characters.
That's kind of crazy. So I know in like the competitive scene of Mortal Kombat, it's really important to like know what abilities each character has.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine having to know 63 counters or 62 counters to another character? Like, I don't know. I just feel like
It's
that would be
absolutely
really hard.
insane. Yeah, and some
Yeah.
characters you can pretty much cheat with. I forgot what his name was, but he does this flying kick move that is unavoidable, and you can just spam it, and there's no way to block it.
Is it Liu Kang?
Yeah, actually, it is Liu Kang. That's a good guess.
Oh, well, it was definitely a guess because I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy, but I just know he's one of the popular main characters.
And that's what I was going to ask next is, do you have a favorite character to play as in Mortal Kombat?
So when I did play Mortal Kombat, I played it with a bunch of my friends for like a year online, and not a year, maybe a few months, but it was one specific year. But the character I played, I don't know what her name is. She has fans, and I would just throw fans at people because I wasn't very good at it. So the only move I learned how to do was throw the fan.
Just throwing fans left and right.
Yeah.
Nice. Age of Mythology, Age of Empires. Age of Mythology specifically was the game I played probably 4 or 5 years straight as a kid. Probably age 7 to 12. I was playing nonstop.
That's so. Was there enough content for you to like play it that long, or were you just like replaying it over and over?
I would do the mode where you play a computer and you just have to beat it. And I would just keep playing that mode over and over and over again.
Oh my gosh, John, you might be insane, dude. For 5 years, that's crazy. No, but
No,
that game actually is a really good game. And back in the day, there weren't a lot of games like that, and the like unique strategies and stuff that you could do in it, you didn't see. So, I mean, it was probably why you played it over and over.
and also they revamped it. Well, they probably did this a long time ago. I just discovered what Steam is. I just discovered I can play Xbox games on my computer. I just discovered all this within the last like 2 months, Garrett. Okay.
Really?
I didn't know what Steam was. I'm like, you can buy games through an app? That's crazy. So I bought Age of Mythology and they have all these expansions now. So I'm actually going through and playing all these additional expansions. So now I'm playing the extra content that I didn't play as a kid.
I think we talked about it like a couple months or a few months ago too. I got that game too, and it's the expansions are really cool. It's a great time killer. You
Yeah.
can pause it if you need to go do chores, you need to help your kids with something, your wife with something. You can just pause it and you come back to it. The only problem if you do that is sometimes you forget the strategy.
Yeah, for sure. Age of Mythology, Mortal Kombat. That leaves us with Baldur's Gate and League of Legends. Do you have a comment on either of the final two?
So I have Baldur's Gate, and I haven't played it as much as I should. I need to complete a playthrough. Every time I play it, I get overwhelmed with all the choices, but it's a pretty fun game. And I could talk to you about League all day, but I'm not going to do that because played League. You probably hate it as much as I do, or love it, or love it like I do. You want something fun and interesting? Play Baldur's Gate.
Garrett, are you and I the same person and I just never knew it?
We might be. I don't know.
Baldur's Gate, I have not finished it also, referring to Baldur's Gate 3, because of the amount of choices. And also, I'm on Act 2. I think there's 3 acts total. I've made it to the final boss of Act 2, but it's just so overwhelming, like you said. And I know when I get to Act 3, supposedly the graphics get better, so it makes the computer run harder, and I don't know.
We might be the same person. I also have made it to Act 2 and then stopped, got overwhelmed. I'll get back to it eventually, but I just haven't. Also, if you have a Steam Deck, Baldur's Gate runs really well on Steam Deck. It just drains the crap out of the battery.
It's called Steam Deck?
Yeah, so it's like essentially a souped up Nintendo Switch. Don't murder me for saying that. But it's a handheld, it's like a mobile gaming device, like the PSP or the Nintendo Switch, but you can play Steam games on it. But it's a really cool device, and Baldur's Gate runs really well on it.
Oh, nice. No, that's good to know. And I know Baldur's Gate has such a close-knit community. So, yeah. League of Legends, I know you said you won't comment on it because, I've heard it is a divisive game. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what it is. So I Googled League of Legends. I watched YouTube videos on it. And people in the comments section are so mean.
That's why it's so divisive.
Why do people hate it?
It's not that they hate it. It's just they probably actually really like it. They just hate other people that play it with them.
What?
League of Legends is actually one of the most popular games in the world, but Americans don't really play it because it's more of a Korean style. I want to say anime, but it's not really anime. It's a top-down MOBA, massive online battle arena. It's a big PvP game. They've got lots of lore, and it's really just PvP based. And you can get stuck in like 45-minute games where you're just getting absolutely slaughtered, and your team won't surrender, which can build a lot of pent up aggression because you're like, dude, I just want to get out of this game and move on to the next one, or dude, I want to get out of this game and go outside. And that's why there's so much pent up aggression. The community is really passionate and really toxic.
All right. You ready for category 4, Garrett?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fortnite, Star Wars Battlefront, Kingdom Hearts, Spider-Man. What do they have in common?
I thought this is kind of hard for me. I thought maybe they all have some sort of like Disney character in them because Fortnite has like skins and stuff, and then Star Wars is now Disney related.
Garrett, you may have just guessed the correct answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This one was hard.
Yeah, you got it right.
Wow.
My category was has worked with or is owned by Disney.
Really? Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. You are 4 for 4. I'm astonished right now.
I feel way nerdier than I should be. Okay.
Fortnite. The only reason I put this on there because we're 2 grown men.
Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out.
Is because I'm happy there's a game the younger generation is playing that is getting them into first-person shooters, action and adventure games. I know Fortnite is it really is just an advertisement for what's hot. You know how McDonald's, their Happy Meals will advertise to kids, like the Minecraft movie's out right now, so they have Minecraft toys in the Happy Meal. I feel like Fortnite does that with their skins. They're like, we want to advertise Sabrina Carpenter, so she's literally a skin right now on Fortnite. Like, it's so bizarre that that's how they do that.
Dude, Fortnite is a brainwash, and it's insane. Like, they've got Dragon Ball Z. Like, if some anime has like a new, season coming out, like Naruto or something, or a new movie, they'll put their skins out.
Yeah,
I think Fortnite's a brainwashing tactic.
Oh, so are you?
By the CIA, but I won't say that.
Are you anti-Fortnite?
No, I don't hate it. I mean, I'm not anti any game really. I think everybody should do what they want to, like play what games they want to play. Gatekeeping games is dumb to me, but I don't play Fortnite. So
they had an Eminem Snoop Dogg season, and so my kids just became obsessed with Eminem. And his music is a lot, so it's hard when they're like, Dad, play Rap God. There's a Rap God machine gun in Fortnite. And so I have to go through Spotify and dig and find a censored version of Rap God. And it's like...
Are there censored versions of Rap God?
There's one censored version. But as an adult, I still know what's going on. But as kids, they have no idea. They're just like, yay, he's rapping fast. As to where I'm like, I get...
Did they do concerts, like Eminem and Snoop Dogg concerts in the game? I heard they did stuff like that.
For the grand opening, my kids called me into the room. Snoop Dogg and Ice Spice were in... I think New York or something, and put on a live concert. And then Juice WRLD and Eminem cartoons came out and performed with them. So yeah,
I mean, that's kind of cool. Pretty cool. I don't play Fortnite, but that is a really cool thing to do. Like, what other game is doing stuff like that?
Yeah, none of them. So that, you know what? We'll give Fortnite a compliment. There's a compliment right there. The OG Star Wars Battlefront. I'll let you lead this one, Garrett. What do you think about it?
Yeah, so, dude, that was one of my first shooter games after the 007 and Twisted Metal. Star Wars Battlefront 1 and Star Wars Battlefront 2 on PS2. I was so mad. I would legitimately spend hours trying to hook up my PlayStation back in the day so that I could play online in the PS2 days. Those games were so fun to me. I would have friends over all the time, and that's all we would play for like 8 hours a night. We'd eat pizza, drink Code Red, and play Star Wars Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. And then Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 later on. But those games are iconic. Lots of cool memories of just hanging out with friends, playing them every night. Yeah. Wouldn't trade those for the world.
I agree with that 1,000%. And I will say Star Wars Battlefront 2 improved upon the first one. With the first one, you're pretty much a soldier. You're a stormtrooper or a rebel the entire time. As to where the second one, the main focus was, hey, let's get you to being a Jedi. And I know you could do that in the first one, but I felt like the second one, it was more important.
No, the Jedi, you could be Boba Fett too in the second one, but the characters that you could become in the middle of the battle if you were like on a kill streak, or I don't know, I don't remember how, but the characters were a lot better in the second one, like you said.
Yeah, so major.
I don't know if you do have major improvements like that. You know,
Mhm.
like a lot of games, like Call of Duty 10 years ago, a lot of people think is way better than Call of Duty now, and I feel like Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2 had good progression, like you said.
But the only controversy, the first time I ever heard people complaining about a game trying to, what's the expression, shake people down, was Star Wars Battlefront 2 trying to have people upgrade by paying money. Do you remember that controversy?
No, I actually don't. Was it like a DLC thing or like microtransactions that they didn't like? Or, I mean, it was EA. So.
It was either a DLC or it could have been characters you could play as.
Oh, that makes sense.
One of the two. Whole new world. Kingdom Hearts. I wanted to say, do you remember the first mission where you're collecting coconuts?
No, I don't remember anything. I played Kingdom Hearts and I liked it, but I don't remember anything.
Here's how much I liked Kingdom Hearts. The very first mission, you're on an island. This is before you have the key sword and Donald and Goofy show up. You're on an island collecting coconuts. And the game was so much fun. That could have been the game. Collecting coconuts on an island, and I still would have had a blast. Going into different Disney universes, fighting different villains, but making it not cheesy. Kingdom Hearts was such an awesome game. I loved it.
Is there any other way to describe Kingdom Hearts besides cool and just like a good game? I don't think there is. Would you consider it an RPG? I know it's not, I mean, open world, not really, but I feel like the story and just everything he did was so fun.
Here's what's weird. It's kind of RPG, but once you clear out an area, it's peaceful. So there's no point in going back, but you can.
Gotcha.
Oh.
And I was okay, so in Kingdom Hearts, could you get different keys like and put them on? I don't remember.
Maybe in the second one. I think in the first one you were stuck with it, and that's the one I played the most.
Okay. I just remember having this like badass heart key that I just could not put down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably Kingdom Hearts 2.
I can't remember, to be honest. Good memories, and that leaves us with Spider-Man. Garrett, have you played Spider-Man? Any Spider-Man game at all?
No, but I do have Spider-Man Miles Morales downloaded on my PS5 and waiting to be played.
Damn, Garrett, you and I, it's a reoccurring theme, are the same person. I was going to just let you have the floor because I have never played a Spider-Man game, and I've wanted to my entire life because they look so much fun, but I never have. So I guess we have nothing to say on this one. Well,
sorry, Spider-Man. We want to play you, but we never have.
Sorry, Spider-Man. Category 5. Let's see if you can guess the similarity. I'll give you a hint before you guess.
Okay.
The Ghost of Tsushima, Diablo, any Pokemon video game, God of War, Valorant, Destiny 2, Stardew Valley. So there's a scene where Bilbo and Gollum are in a cave. Gollum's ring is missing, and he's accusing Bilbo, where's the ring? The one ring to rule them all. And they start to tell each other riddles. And they're like, whoever isn't able to guess the riddle first loses.
Okay.
So I've given you, 4 riddles now, and you've gotten them all right, correct?
I guess, yeah.
Well, Bilbo's final riddle isn't really a riddle. He says, "What's in my pocket?" Now, would you say that's a riddle?
What's in my... No, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, well...
Sorry. That's just what... That was my visceral reaction.
Yeah, that is creepy too. But it's also kind of cheating. So this category, it's like, I know what they have in common, but I don't expect you to know what they have in common, if that makes any sense.
It does. You know, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you know
so
the
answer? I know what they all have in common. So this answer might not be right, but my visceral thought reaction, I keep saying visceral, but my visceral reaction is that you sent me a list of games and asked me which ones I've played. I've played all of these games.
So they're all games you played, right?
Yep.
But why are they separate than the other category?
They all, okay, I don't know the answer to this, but they all have very high, like, at one point or another, they had very high amounts of players. Like over 100,000 people have played these games on the same day.
Wow.
But I
Okay.
know that's not the answer.
But that's fascinating.
But yeah, fun fact. I don't know.
The answer is I have not played a single one of these games. So,
Oh my gosh. I was like on the right track, but the opposite.
yeah, honestly, I thought you were about to get there. And the fact that you said
I
so
might
many
have.
people played these games opening day, I was like, oh, except me. Ha 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 ha.
Interesting. I don't know about not opening days, but at least at one point after they've been like reviewed by some people. But yeah, well, you can't win them all. John.
Well, hey, that's fair. But my question for you is, of course, I want you to talk about Destiny 2. But before we do that, out of all these games besides Destiny 2, which one's your favorite?
So I'll give you two games. We already kind of talked about one of them, but the Ghost of Tsushima is one of my all-time favorites. It's got a beautiful world. The story is really good, and it has some RPG elements to it. So if you ever see it on sale or something, highly recommend. One of my favorites of all time. And then Call of Duty is another great one, just because of all the great times I've had with people over the years.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. No, awesome. I appreciate that. And I'll be sure to check out. You said it's called The Ghost of Tsushima?
Ghost of Tsushima, and I could be butchering it, but they're actually making a second one. It's The Ghost of Yatoi, and it comes out later this year.
Okay. And then Destiny 2. If you want to explain to someone who has no idea what Destiny is about, what is it?
Yeah, so Destiny itself is a first-person shooter game with abilities that you can use to absolutely just destroy your enemies, whether they're aliens or robots or, whatever you're facing in the universe. And it's got some really cool lore to back it up and a really good story. And it's been out for almost 10 years now. Destiny 2 has, and there was a Destiny 1 that was out for even longer. But it's just, honestly, I didn't even like Destiny when I first started playing it, but you can do things like raids and dungeons in it. And if you play with people, it's just a really good time. Kind of like the people make the game for me rather than the game itself.
Yeah. And does it have a great campaign?
So a lot of people really like the campaign, but we're about 10 DLCs deep now. So you'll be playing 10 different campaigns if you start
Wow.
fresh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people are kind of curious where they're going to go with their next expansion because they're doing a trailer/teaser next week, and people are starting to like say that the game is dying and stuff and it's going downhill, but I don't know.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens. All right, Garrett, any other comments on category number 5?
Yeah, play Ghost of Tsushima if you haven't. You won't regret it.
I thought I'd surprise you. Category 5 was a bunch of games I had never played. And so you don't know about this, Garrett. I created category number 6, which is shame on you for not playing these games.
Okay.
Both Time Splitters 2 and Time Splitters Future Perfect, Simpsons Road Rage, Spyro, and Animal Crossing. Have you played any of those?
So I haven't played Spyro enough to say I've played it, and then the others, no, I haven't. I've never played any of them.
Shame, 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 Garrett, shame.
Simpsons Road Rage sounds kind of twisted metally, though.
Simpsons Road Rage, you are a taxi driver in Springfield.
Gosh, that's the most Simpsons.
It's so ridiculous. And then Time Splitters, if I were to ask of you to play any of these games, Time Splitters Future Perfect is the third game in this franchise. They were trying to compete with Halo, and it's about a guy named Sergeant Cortez, and he has these things called time crystals. And what happens is these aliens called Time Splitters come and take the time crystals and scatter them throughout time. One takes it to the Wild West. One takes it to Ireland while they're having some war. One takes it to the future when there's a war between humans and robots. And what you have to do is go into each of these different stories and collect the time crystal. So you're just popping in and out of different periods of time and collecting these different crystals. So it's super epic. It's my favorite game of all time. And there's a zombies mode too, just like Call of Duty. But this is PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, maybe even the Xbox before that one, type graphics. So I'm going to warn you, it is a little cheesy nowadays, but it is such a fun game. It's awesome.
That sounds like a really cool concept. I'm surprised I've like literally never heard of it.
Yeah. And that is just the story. They really don't have a multiplayer. They do, but from what I remember, it kind of sucks because there's really no
Well, that would
strategy.
be why.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
I was gonna say that'd be why I didn't compete with Halo, but
Yeah, exactly. There was no great
the story
multiplayer.
sounds amazing.
But also, you had mentioned in The Witcher there was a mini game and Time Splitters. There are a bunch of mini games you can play within this game. Just weird, unique things like that. Also,
I like games with mini games. It's weird, but it's like unique and fun, and it makes the game worth like playing, coming back to.
yeah. So that
I
was
might have to try Time Splitters Future Perfect.
Time Splitters Future Perfect. Really, the only reason I actually got you for this podcast was just to tell you about Time Splitters Future Perfect. Okay.
Well, now I have to try it.
And then I had some final questions for you before you have to go because I know you're a very busy man. For those of you that don't know, Garrett and I used to announce and live stream for our high school the football games. It was for a multimedia class, if I remember correctly. Do you remember that, Garrett?
Yeah, I do. It was a great time. I know that Coach really wanted you to follow the announcing footsteps and take that path, and it's cool to see you start a podcast. But man, that was a long time ago.
Honestly, it's cool to see both of us doing something in the multimedia realm because your YouTube channel is super successful. It's awesome.
I just really like making videos, and honestly, YouTube has been a cool outlet for me to do that. I really like video games. I get to share my experience with video games with other people over YouTube, and other people actually seem to watch my videos. Have you had a similar experience on your podcast with podcasting?
Yeah, so when I started off, it was all about movies and doing movie reviews, and I've really branched out. And what I enjoy the most is learning from other people's experiences and exploring topics that I'm not familiar with. It's fascinating, all the different walks of life. Last week, I spoke with my sister in law, and we talked about stocks and bonds and how the market nowadays is going to impact that. It's just, you can do anything with a podcast. It's crazy. Do you feel like your YouTube channel, it can expand into topics besides Destiny, or do you want to keep it like that for now?
So that's a good question. Basically, I had a friend who would always give me a hard time. He's like, you need to, figure out a build and go watch a YouTube video on a Titan build. And I never did it because I was just trolling. I was vibing, having a good time. And then one day I made a YouTube video to troll him, and I linked him the video. I said, yo, I finally watched the video. And he got the link, and he took that link, and he was like, tell me this isn't real. And because it had like 8,000 views, and it was really funny. I would like to eventually move away from Destiny 2. I feel like it's very pigeonholed, and I would like to do other content, like other games, or even branch out into like other aspects of life. I go to the gym a lot, and I think gym content would be really cool because I bench press like 235 pounds. I'm 30 years old and I can do that. I'm proud of it.
Wow.
I would like to branch out into other content eventually, but right now with the way life is, I don't have enough. I have a system for what I do with Destiny, and I would have to have a different system for different types of content. So eventually maybe, but right now, no.
I know it's kind of cliche to bring up, but are you familiar with the YouTuber Destiny, who had started off as a Destiny player and now he's like a debater and orator and does all these different things?
I didn't know he played Destiny, but I did know that. So I'd seen him a couple times, like playing League of Legends back in the day, and so I'm a little bit familiar with him. He's definitely got an interesting attitude.
Yeah, that's actually why he picked that name Destiny, is because he was going to dedicate his entire YouTube page to playing Destiny, and then he got political, and then it spiraled into that kind of content. But yeah, it's just interesting. I'm excited to see where this journey takes you, and honestly, looking back, reflecting on the conversation we just had, the fact that both of us in high school were sitting next to each other up in the stands doing high school football games, and now we're out doing multimedia on our own.
You've always had the radio voice even back in high school.
Well, I think our teacher at the time viewed you and I as like Troy Aikman and
I better not be John Buck, John, or Joe Buck. I promise.
You know what? I'll be Joe Buck because I was the jolly, happy guy, and you can be Troy Aikman. I think that's a pretty good comparison.
I'll take it. I've actually heard Joe Buck is a really good guy, despite everybody in Kansas City hating him.
Also, why do we hate him?
It's just because whenever a Kansas City team is playing and he's announcing, whether it's the Royals or the Chiefs, he always seems to be rooting for the other team. Or at least that's what it feels like. But maybe we're just
salty Kansas City fans. We hate multiple announcers. No one's gonna be as hyped as Mitch Holtis.
That's true. Mitch Holtis, GOAT status.
For sure. It's just exciting.
I'm excited for both of us. When I saw that you were starting a podcast, I like secretly did a fist pump. I was like, yes, he needs to do that. You got the perfect voice for it. So
thank you, Garrett. You have a good voice too, by the way. I just want to shout that out there. We talked essentially about PC, Xbox, PlayStation. Have you tried out VR headsets?
So honestly, no. VR seems kind of like LARPing to me, but I've never LARPed, and I honestly never. I just haven't wanted to, toss up the extra change for a VR headset because they seem super expensive.
I don't blame you for that.
Have you?
I have done it once. Have you played the game on Xbox called Super Hot?
Is that like a potato game?
What is a potato game?
Like hot potato? No, I haven't played this game. I should Google this.
Oh no, that's hilarious. This is one of those really. It's an indie game made by a small company.
I see
that. Okay. And
very different than my concept.
Yes. And when you speed up, people are trying to shoot you, and the faster you move, the faster the bullets move. So if you move slow, the bullets move slow. And anyways, they have that game on VR also. So I have played that game on VR, and it's fun because you're like crouching to the floor. Your whole body is moving so slow.
That sounds like a good, drink a couple of Twisted Teas and play a game.
And then I noticed you hadn't marked too many Nintendo games. Why, Garrett? What's going on?
So, I mean, I don't know. I had a Nintendo 64. That was my first ever console. The only games I really played on it were Mario Kart, Nintendo 64, and Donkey Kong, and I think NFL Blitz. After Nintendo, I just moved on to PlayStation, and then the only time I ever played a Nintendo game was on a Game Boy or something, which was Pokemon.
Gotcha.
No, I like Nintendo games, except for I don't like Zelda. I don't understand the Zelda thing, why so many people are into it. I'll probably get persecuted for that one, but I know it's super popular.
That's another one of those games that I have never played, but I do want to try out once. We've never crossed paths, Link and I. You talked about you played PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64. What do you currently play? I'll start with, what do you currently play?
I mostly play on my PC, but I do have a PS5 and an Xbox One X.
Okay. And the reason I ask is because growing up, one of my best friends would always just say PC Master Race. Have you heard that joke?
Yeah, I have heard it, and I don't really agree with it. I think if you're gatekeeping what console's best, you're dumb. Sorry, friend, growing up, you're dumb. But I think you should play whatever you want. And if you enjoy playing on PS5 or Xbox, and play on PS5 or Xbox or PS2 or whatever,
Yeah, for sure. I like that outlook on life. I agree with that. Do you ever live stream?
No, I have a Twitch account. I've got some followers on it, and I have in the past, but I don't really do it anymore. I like making videos. And if my schedule permitted, if I didn't have a full-time job and a kid and a wife, I probably would stream. I don't. I just make videos.
Yeah. And you make really good videos, by the way, which everyone should check out, which we had plugged at the beginning of this episode.
I don't know if my videos are really good, but they're definitely getting better. I feel like I've learned a lot from my first video to my videos now.
When I watch your YouTube videos, right now we're doing an interview style format where we review games, talk about them. I ask you questions, you ask me questions. How did you develop the cadence that you have for your YouTube videos?
You mean how I my script essentially? This feels more freeform, you ask questions, just like the way you just described it. But in my videos, I have a script that I write, and most of my videos are my YouTube channel is very pigeonholed, and I do mostly just build videos in Destiny, which is how characters do different things. So I'll do what subclass we're doing, and this may be a lot and too much in depth, but I'll do from the subclass to the abilities in the subclass, to the weapons, to the armor, and everything that we use and what they do. And at the beginning of each new segment of the build, I'll try to throw in a hook. So a lot goes into the hook. I try to keep it short and also engaging, so that it makes people in the back of their head think, oh, this might be cool. But that goes into a little bit of the cadence, I guess. And then I also work on sentence structure when I'm writing. It's easier to do it when you're writing than when you're talking. But in the writing aspect, you want to keep it like a short sentence, and then a little bit longer sentence to keep people engaged for a little bit longer, and then you go back to a short sentence. So that's kind of my cadence as far as writing.
Oh, wow. No, that's fascinating. Honestly, I'm glad you paid that much attention to it because I've asked some people in the past, how do you come up with this? Where did you get this idea? And they're just like, I just wing it. So at least you have a plan.
And to kind of go off, I feel like I was really bad at it at the beginning, and that's why I tried to start planning things out and being more strategical because I wanted it to be better. I'm super nerdy. I don't know if you've realized, but talking about video games with me for the last hour, but I'm super nerdy. And if I don't like the way something sounds or looks, or I don't understand it, I have to do it to figure it out. So I've spent hours on YouTube just figuring out how to write scripts, how to read or like read a script and try to make it sound like I'm not reading from it, if that makes sense. But I know it still kind of sounds like that sometimes. So that's an improvement I'm trying to make. And but yeah, YouTube's just or making videos is really fun, and there's a lot that goes into it.
Could
Yeah.
you use your cadence right now? I find it fascinating. I was asking a friend of mine to freestyle because he likes to freestyle,
Mhm.
and he had to get into the state of mind. And he started closing his eyes and going, okay, okay, okay. And then he was able to start doing it, but it cracked me up. He had to like enter into a different dimension, kind of.
No, you definitely have to. I feel like you have to do that for all stages of life. I feel like going to work, I have to get into a different mindset than when I'm at home versus when I'm out, and about in the world, or versus when I'm making a video and versus when I'm just talking to friends. But anyway, here's my intro on my last video that I made.
Okay.
So I said, "What is up, big dogs?" Kept it short, right? That's interesting. I'm saying, "What's up, big dogs?" That's my viewers. And then I told them what I'm doing because I'm getting straight to the point. In this video, I'm bringing you an insane strand build that literally no one is using. So that's it for my first two short ones. And then I kind of lead on to a little bit of a longer sentence and a run on. And I say, yes, it is strong. Yes, it's Grandmaster ready. And yes, I'm D2 Titans only and would greatly appreciate a like because I'm shameless. I said that part. If you enjoy this video. And then I jumped into the rest of my stuff. But that was
Gotcha.
just the cadence of my intro.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's fine. And actually, it's funny. As you were reading it right now, I remember it from your video. So it's very memorable also, just so you know.
I try not to do this as much because I feel almost disingenuous. Not to say you're disingenuous if you use AI, but I try not to use AI, but I will go into like ChatGPT and be like, hey, how does this sound for an intro? And then ChatGPT will spit out something like twice as long and has twice as many words. And I'm just like, okay, I don't want that, but I do like this little suggestion, and I'll throw that specific word or suggestion into a point in my intro.
So when it comes to using I use it sometimes for my scripts or for my episodes. I still want to be in charge of the creative control of everything. I just want AI to do the part that's not fun. So I still want to be in charge of incorporating the artistic aspects of what I want. If I have a specific question,
You don't want to sound like a robot, yeah, because you want your personality. It's part of your brand, is your personality, or it's part of why you want people to watch you.
yeah, exactly.
So
So,
I get
well,
that.
and then now is the time if you want to plug again your YouTube channel, any socials that you would want anyone listening to this to follow you on, anything you want whatsoever. Now is the time. Good. It's all yours, Garrett. Go for it.
All right, this is even more shameless than the first shameless plug, but if you guys want to follow me on YouTube, D2 Titans only, or subscribe. If you do watch my videos, all I ask is that even if you don't like what you see, just mute your phone and watch it, and feel free to like and engage. So that's it. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me, and I'll do my little YouTube sign off. As always, peace.
Ooh, and that was the incredible Mr. Garrett Godsey. It's always a pleasure. Thank you all, and I hope you have a beautiful day.
What is up, big dogs?